Hey, buddy. To everybody. YouTube. I posted the last video, flopped, all that. Come into the streams, bro. If y'all don't come into the streams, and you will not experience the Type Now's aura. Chat, I'm gonna be part of the top 10% of the freeformers, and I'm tatted, bro. And I'm 16, and yeah. So, yeah, come into the Jones, and chat, school is starting back up, so you do understand.
24 Jaden says YouTube don't sub.
Alright, bro. Anyways. This is cheating in class by Jace Mations, and what anybody says, everybody in their life has cheated at least once, bro. In some sort of way, they have cheated. So this is Jace Mations cheating in class. Chat, I'll be the first time I have cheated in school before, allegedly.
So when I was a junior, I was taking Algebra 1, right? And I've always
Whoa, chat, I took Algebra 1 in 8th grade.
low-key sucked at math. Like, for some reason, every other class I could do well in if I tried hard enough.
24 Jaden says I cheated on my Roblox GF.
Yeah, get out, bro.
Still suck ass and like genuinely just
Chat, this is how I was in middle school, bro. I had a 70 in math, 7th and 8th grade, and then I got to high school and I had 90s in all my math so far.
And at one point in that year, my grade was like a 70 something, and we had an upcoming test. And like every other test we had so far, I was probably gonna get like a 30 on it. And if I did, I would have definitely been failing, and that just wasn't happening. So test day came, and I was in my seat, listening to my teachers telling everyone to put their phones up in their backpacks and like their backpacks up against the wall, blah 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 blah. The same test day, yeah, right? And like usual, I didn't put my phone up. I just kept it in my pocket, and literally everyone in class did the same thing, whether they planned on using their phone to try to cheat or not. Just like people just wanted their phones on them, which is valid. So the test was passed out, and I looked down at it and was
I have straight D's, no C's. Oh, word. Hey, yeah.
like, nope. Like, I already knew I was cooked. I looked at the test and understood nothing. Even though I actually tried to study for this one too, I wasn't about to sit here and take another L. So I looked over at my teacher and saw she was turned around looking at her computer. And all the, you know what I'm saying, everything started to align to me. I was like, this is my chance. Now my plan was to pull up my phone and use photo math, if you know what that is, to get the answers. Now
So chat, I actually have a 4.0 GPA. I had, but bro, it dropped to a 3.9 because I got an extra B or whatever, because it was an honors class. Whatever happened. My school, the grades are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1 is the best grade. And what do you get, Jaden? You have all 6s.
thing with photo math is the quickest way to get the answers would be take a picture of your, you know what I'm saying, and then do the math for you. Now I wasn't about to just sit here and pull up
4 A B C D E F. Wait, so what's passing and what's failing?
my phone and take a picture of my test in the middle of class. Like, I'm not an idiot, but I had another idea. I pull up my AirPod case and put it on my desk, and I was like, I'm gonna pretend to be doing my test for around, like, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes while doing some questions, so my whole test wasn't perfect all of a sudden. Which, trust me, my teacher would have seen my 100 test score out of all like the 30s and 40s I had gotten throughout the entire like school year.
5 and 6 is failing. Okay, bro. Okay, so you're almost failing. Hey, bro. Locking on that score, bro.
Nothing. I was just thinking with some like light Yagami levels of deduction and overthinking, so I had planned everything out where I would get a score just high enough to keep my grade from going below 70 and to like not arouse suspicion or whatever. So my AirPod case was on my desk, right? And after like doing 3 questions, and when I say doing, I mean like randomly writing down shit, I ain't know nothing on that test. I grabbed my pencil and wrote down one of the questions on the front of my AirPod case, and then I realized I could fit like 5 questions on this hoe. So I wrote down some questions on my AirPod case, grabbed my AirPods, and then asked to use the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom. And the second I walked in there, I pulled out my case, and then I pulled out my phone, and I started typing the answers in on photo math. Like, I was literally cooking. Like, this whole plan was genius, even though I definitely wasn't the first or last to think of doing something like this, and it was probably the most unnecessary thing I was doing, but I got the answers. And since there wasn't like room on my AirPods, I wiped off the answers and replaced them with the questions where the answers were, so I wouldn't like get confused and everything. So after standing in the middle of the bathroom writing on my AirPod case, probably looked like a crazy person on the bros. Like, if someone walked into the bathroom and then saw a dude stand in the doorway writing on his AirPod case, they'd probably be like, what the hell? So after completing my mission, I walked by the class with a smirk on my face, like, oh yeah, I just did that shit. But there were like 4 kids in my class just casually using their phones to cheat, probably. Just, you know, sitting there with their phones in their laps, looking up and down their tests, casually cheating. And we got my dumbass over here, thought I was the anime protagonist doing some actual crazy shit just to get answers for his most insignificant test possible, right? So I got back to class and I sat down and I whipped out my AirPod cheat sheet, put it on my desk, and
Chat, I'm a guest that John erased off his John.
started answering some of the questions. And like I said earlier, I only wanted to cheat on some of my questions for some reason, even though, like I said, 100 would have been cooler and definitely better for my grade. But also, I couldn't write my whole test on my goddamn AirPod case, so like, it was whatever basically. And I did my test and I ended up getting like a 73 on it, which to you smart people was probably like bad, but to me that was like an actual miracle. Like a 73 was better than anything I could have asked for. And the craziest thing is, I dead got caught cheating one time in this class. My teacher let it slide. Like, I was on my phone while we were doing a test and it was on my lap, and like I said before, all our phones supposed to be in our backpacks, which we then put against the wall far away from us, right? So I'm sitting there looking down at my lap every now and then, being very inconspicuous about what I'm doing, and she caught me, right? She walked over and she was just like, you're not supposed to be on your phone. And I was like, oh, I was texting my mom. And for some reason, I can't tell you why, she let it slide, and I was genuinely confused. Like, she should have known what I was doing. No, she did know what I was doing, and I don't know, I guess she was just trying to let me make it. She probably knew that I was cooked already in this math class. She was like, nah, I'll let him have this one, you know what I'm saying? Which I was thinking about that whole interaction previously to me doing what I did on this test.
Gangatron. All my math teachers so far have liked me. I did just get my schedule for next year, bro. Sigh.
Because I was like, if I get caught this time, oh yeah, I'm definitely cooked for sure. Which made it like all the more a little bit more goofy with how I cheated on this test. And only got a 73 if I haven't mentioned that, by the way. Yeah, 73. Yeah. Don't cheat on your test, kids.
I know what you're thinking. You're like, Jays, it's been like 3 years. Why haven't you posted? Guys, listen. I've been locked in on some other things, some cool little projects I'm working on from my other channel. And this one, just letting you know, no more inconsistent Jays all 2025. I'm just gonna say that, no more inconsistent.
Hey, chat. I'm gonna tell y'all, bro. If you cheat allegedly, don't get caught. That's all I'm gonna say. In school, bro. Because at the end of the day, bro, the school system is strange. You know. I'm not gonna say cheat. I'm not gonna say don't cheat. You're gonna do whatever you want, bro. But as you know, Type Nas has to give you a lesson at the end of the video. And if you cheat, bro, don't get caught. And you know, as much as you study, sometimes people just don't retain knowledge as well as others. So you know, if you're gonna get caught, be ready to pay those consequences. And if you're not ready to get caught, then don't cheat. Ready? Me, I've been a cheater. Only on tests. And not really, bro. I usually don't cheat in classes, but sometimes I've had to, you know, allegedly. But nah, bro, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. YouTube, please tap in, bro. Tap in with the streams, bro. Yeah, I know y'all like the shorts, but y'all need to come into the streams. It's fun. We have fun. We troll. We dance. All that stuff, bro. So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed YouTube. And yeah, bro, it's a Type Nas year.